You know, this is a constant criticism you see of books that are adapted into movies, that they leave out stuff and they miss elements here and there. But you have to understand, when you're adapting a book into a movie, there's certain things you just can't put in there because you're stressed for time, right? Like movies are 2.5, 3, maybe 4 hours. This is a 2-part movie, maybe it's like 4.5, 5 hours, right? You can't do like a 16-hour, 8-hour movie or anything like that. It just doesn't work. It would take forever to add every element that's in the book, like a 500-page, 600-page book, into a 2.5-hour movie. It's just not possible. So they put in everything they can. But there are stuff that they miss, and this commenter does bring up an interesting point. There's one scene I want to highlight in particular in Paul's speech to the Fremen. When Paul's giving his speech to the Fremen, he starts out yelling at them and lambasting them, like I said in the previous video. And he basically says, nobody in this room can take me or is powerful enough to defeat me. And all the Fremen draw their knives, their Crysknives, right? These knives are sacred to the Fremen people, and Duncan does make this point when Stilgar comes to see Duke Leto in Dune Part 1. He says it's a Crysknife, it's sacred to his people.
Your leader has a knife, he won't surrender, sire.
It's a Crysknife. It's sacred to his people. Let him pass.
But when Paul does this, he knows he's going to provoke a reaction from the Fremen, and they all pull out their knives at once. And there is one thing about a Crysknife that they don't really cover in Dune Part 1 and Part 2, besides the fact that it's sacred. So Paul's provoking a reaction from the Fremen, and their reaction is to all unsheath their Crysknives at once to challenge him. But the thing about Crysknives is they can't be then sheathed again until they have blood on them. He's provoking them on a path to violence, whether that be against him or their enemies or his enemies, right? He's proving to them he is Lisan el-Khaib, and that they will follow him. You go back to Dune Part 1, when Lady Jessica and Stilgar are fighting, she unsheathes his Crysknife and she holds it like this to him, and then when she gives it back to him, Stilgar and all of his men then cut their arms and then sheath their knives back in, because they have blood on them. They can then be put back.
Yuck. Unak.
But that's an element I think this commenter is talking about. Like, they don't really go into the Crysknives and what's sacred to the Fremen and what isn't and what the reasons are, because it would take too long to get all that stuff out of the way. But I mean, look, there's book peoples and there's movie people. There's never shall the two meet. I feel like it's that way. People love books and people love movies. There's really not